The ground shakes under muddy boots. A man drops to his knees in the icy river. His hands are torn open, bleeding. The cold cuts into skin like a blade. Around him, shouting, gunshots in the distance, the metallic sound of shovels striking stone. Some men laugh like they've lost their minds. Others cry without tears. Exhausted bodies fight over inches of land as if fighting for life itself. No one looks back. No one knows who will still be alive tomorrow. Gold shines everywhere, but something inside is already rotten. How far can a human being go when fortune feels just one reach away? What was happening was not just a hunt for wealth. This was the California gold rush of the 1850s, an event that shattered the normal rhythm of society and tore the human map apart. In a matter of months, a distant and sparsely populated region became the center of a global migration. People crossed oceans, deserts, and mountains, driven by one brutal promise: free gold waiting to be taken. This moment reshaped the economy, the land, and the moral compass of an entire nation. Nothing came out untouched. The period is often imagined as chaotic from the beginning, a land already doomed to violence and misery. But reality tells a different story. Before the human flood, California lived in a fragile but functional balance. Indigenous communities followed rhythms shaped over centuries. Small coastal towns survived on trade and farming. Rivers ran clear. The land was generous. Life moved slowly. That stability made the impact even more destructive. In just a few years, the margins became the center. Promise turned into obsession. Society at the time functioned like an expanding engine. Ships crossed the Pacific loaded with hope. Newspapers spread exaggerated stories. Improvised banks appeared inside tents. Tools, food, and weapons circulated at outrageous prices. San Francisco grew without planning, swelling like a fevered body. Progress was treated as absolute truth. More people meant more wealth. More wealth meant a better future. But the very structure of rapid success prepared the ground for collapse. When everything grows too fast, nothing holds. The origin of this convulsion did not begin in halls of power or political decisions. It emerged quietly, far away, almost invisible. In 1848, golden particles lay hidden for centuries in California's riverbeds, shaped by slow geological processes, indifferent to human ambition. When the first shine was noticed, it looked neither like a threat nor salvation. It was just metal. But the news traveled faster than any army. What nature hid for thousands of years was ripped out in a few seasons. The moment civilization made contact was sudden and brutal. Ports like San Francisco became gateways to disaster. Ships arrived overcrowded. Many never left. Crews abandoned vessels at anchor to rush inland. Entire cities emptied and refilled without order, without law. The frontier stopped being a line on a map and became an open wound. Beyond it, the known world dissolved. The spread was relentless. Camps appeared overnight and vanished just as quickly. Rivers once silent turned into human lines stretching for miles. Mountains echoed with explosions. Forests were cut down without hesitation. Every new discovery triggered another wave of movement. Those who arrived late found only mud, violence, and despair. Hope and ruin traveled together. One man's fortune meant another man's end. Human reaction under pressure was confused and often tragic. With no strong institutions, each group invented its own rules. Strength became justice. Superstition guided decisions. Some believed certain rivers were cursed. Others thought luck could be stolen. Science was limited. Information twisted with every retelling. Attempts to impose control, such as improvised militias, often made violence worse. Instead of order, fear multiplied. Social and moral collapse followed. Family bonds broke. Friends betrayed friends for a handful of dust. The sick were left behind. The dead were buried without names. Laws existed only in memory. Lynchings replaced trials. The other person stopped being human and became an obstacle. Contemporary accounts describe ghost towns forming in weeks, with tables still set and doors left open. Desperation fueled radicalization and fanaticism. Foreigners, indigenous peoples, and marginalized groups became easy targets. They were accused of stealing gold, spreading disease, threatening prosperity. Violence gained moral excuses. Expulsions, massacres, and persecution became routine. In the name of survival, almost anything could be justified. Gold corrupted not only pockets, but conscience. The devastation reached far beyond major towns. In the countryside, the tragedy was quieter. Farmland was abandoned. Rivers diverted for mining killed entire ecosystems.
Wildlife vanished. Isolated villages withered without supplies. Nature, wounded, slowly reclaimed abandoned spaces. Where human fever once burned, deep scars and uneasy silence remained. Eventually, the disaster began to fade, not as a victory, but as exhaustion. Easy gold ran out. Most returned home with less than they arrived with. Rivers no longer shimmered as before. Silence returned, heavy and unresolved. There was no celebration, only fatigue. The catastrophe did not end. It simply stopped advancing. The world that followed was transformed. California became central to the American economy. New cities, new laws, new trade routes emerged. But alongside growth lived a collective memory of greed, risk, and irreversible change. Opportunity now carried an unspoken warning. Every promise demands a price. The new world was built on human and natural ruins. Looking back at this past is like facing an uncomfortable mirror. We still chase shining promises of quick salvation. We still trade balance for growth. The California gold rush of the 1850s is not distant history. It's a reminder of how far we go when we confuse wealth with meaning. The real question may not be what they did back then, but what we are still willing to repeat today. Here, the past is not nostalgia. It is a warning, and the next era is already waiting.